Hello students. In our last video we have explained product differentiation and we have said that product differentiation is a main feature of monopolistic competition. Another important feature of monopolistic competition is the existence of selling cost. Here in this video we are going to explain about selling cost. We will be explaining how selling cost affects revenue and cost of a firm under monopolistic competition. First of all, we are defining selling cost. According to Chamberlain, the expenditure incurred to alter the position and shape of demand curve of a product is known as selling cost. The cost of advertisement is an example of selling cost. Selling cost not only includes the cost of advertisement, it includes the salaries of salesmen, sales girls, and traveling agents, and allowances to wholesalers. The cost for extended warranty or guarantee, the cost for providing free sample, the extra cost incurred for sales promotion methods, all are the examples of selling cost. Therefore, selling cost may be defined as a cost necessary to persuade a buyer to buy one product rather than another, or to buy from one seller rather than another. Selling cost generally affects revenue and cost conditions of a monopolistically competitive firm. Let us examine the effect of selling cost with the help of a diagram. In order to plot the selling cost, we have taken x-axis and y-axis. On x-axis we have shown quantity of the commodity, and on y-axis we have represented revenue and cost for the commodity. For analytical convenience, we are considering only the average revenue and average cost curve. We are simply neglecting marginal revenue and marginal cost curve. Here initially we are considering the condition of the equilibrium without advertisement. Initially the firm is having a demand curve or average revenue curve like this, and corresponding to this average revenue curve we are drawing an average cost curve. This is average cost curve 1, and we are having an average revenue curve also. On the basis of MCMR equilibrium, we have identified the equilibrium quantity as OQ1 and corresponding price of the commodity is OP1. At this stage the firm is earning an abnormal profit of P1, N1, R1, T1. The total abnormal profit earned by the firm before advertisement is this shaded area. Now we are going to consider what is happening if there is advertisement or selling cost. We know that when selling cost is incurred, the average cost curve will be increased, and along with increase in average cost, revenue also will be increased. Demand curve will be shifted rightwards. After the imposition of selling cost, this demand curve shifts rightward, upward. This is the new demand curve AR2, which is equal to D2, and there is a new cost curve with the imposition of selling cost. This is average cost plus selling cost. The equilibrium quantity is extended to OQ2. That means quantity of the commodity produced by the firm increases, and this quantity is sold at a higher price, OP2 price, and the firm is earning an abnormal profit of P2, T2, R2, N2. This shaded area is the total abnormal profit enjoyed by the firm after the imposition of selling cost. For analytical convenience, we are simply avoiding marginal revenue and marginal cost. Now the firm is going to spend little more amount of money as selling cost. Automatically this demand curve will be shifted rightward. The new demand curve is AR3, which is equal to D3, corresponding to an increase in this demand curve or corresponding to increase in selling cost. This cost curve also increases. This is the average cost plus selling cost 2. Here the equilibrium quantity identified is OQ3, corresponding price is OP3, and the total abnormal profit earned by the firm is this shaded area P3, T3, N3, R3. P3, N3, R3, T3 is the total abnormal profit enjoyed by the firm. Now let us compare the profit level at different levels of selling cost. When selling cost is incurred by the producer at the initial level, when AC average cost is added with the selling cost, and total profit of the firm will be this much area. The green shaded area is P2, N2, R2, T2. This area is the total amount of abnormal profit enjoyed by the firm under monopolistic competition at the initial stage of selling cost. Now the firm is incurring additional selling cost, or firm is spending more and more money on selling or advertisement. The total profit enjoyed by the firm will be this much area. This is P3, N3, R3, T3. As we compare these two areas, it is clear that abnormal profit is the highest when the firm is having AC plus selling cost. That means at the initial stage of selling cost. Therefore, we can say that this is the optimum level of selling cost. And when more amount of money is spent for selling a commodity, the abnormal profit level of the firm decreases. In other words, at the initial stage of selling cost, the additional cost incurred for selling is lower than the revenue generated, additional revenue generated from selling. The additional revenue generated from selling is higher than the cost incurred for advertisement or other selling cost activities. But at the second stage, when more and more money is spent towards selling, the revenue generated, the increase in revenue generated will be lower than that of increase in the cost of advertisement or cost of selling the commodity. Therefore, optimum selling cost is attained when the additional revenue generated through selling cost is more than that of the real expenditure of selling cost. Here in this figure, the initial expenditure on selling cost is optimum, and higher amount of selling cost generate only lower levels of abnormal profit. Different economists considered selling cost differently. Some economists argues that selling cost is a wastage of monopolistic competition.